find that it doesn't have that level of social ability. Food cards are great, and they represent a whole class of business that our community has a greater potential of than any other community in this state, and that is entrepreneurship. All of the creative minds, all of the hope and opportunity that's in the community. Right now, there's Mary Charles Gordon doing the food tour, and if you haven't gone on it, it's fantastic, and it's the best deal in town. And the people I was talking about, one of our entrepreneurs, don't anybody in this room steal this idea or she will beat me up, wanted to do a solar-powered hot dog cart, and it was all organic. I mean, those kinds of things could happen. We need a flower cart downtown. At one point we had that. I know that's not food, but it's part of the aura that we're trying to build. You're right about tourism. We want to make our town as alive and as multifaceted as we can. And this is just one more way. I was there when they did the the food permit, the vendor permit, I think is the way it's called. And it's gotten much more restrictive. It doesn't need to be restrictive. It does need to be regulated. And we do not regulate food at all, thank God. The government does, local government.
In Athens, we used to have the hot dog man. He had a great thriving business, and we regulated him out of business. In almost any city that you go into these days, you will see the food carts. And they offer a variety of opportunities where you don't have to take your time and go sit down and wait on somebody to come and that. You can get it on the go. And it's not always fast food. It's great food, and from Thai food to this food to that. And I think we need to open up that opportunity. Because again, there are people that come downtown, even on those 7 weekends, that don't want to stand in line and don't want to do that. And it's a great opportunity for economic development. We need to open that up. And again, it does not take nearly the amount of capital to begin that. We do need to closely regulate it to ensure the safety of the food, to ensure what is going on there. We do need to make sure we're not putting the food cart and the restaurants in competition. We need to have some kind of regulation. And I think the best way to do that is to come together with a consortium of all the potential food cart people and the restaurateurs. They have an association and talk about this and see how we can work this out where it's not adversarial, where it's a win-win, and then we can regulate that and establish what we need to make Athens more attractive. Where right now, if we want to leave here, we want to go and get something, we got to go to the bars, we got to go to this place. You cannot enjoy that strolling downtown. We need to open that up. We need to regulate it. We need to ensure that we're not infringing on some of our customers that have already invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it will draw even to those. So I think we need to look at that and make it a viable part of the Athens scene.
I knew this was going to be about probably the one question that we're all going to agree on fully on. And food carts are a vibrant part of any culture. If you've been in any other cities that have food carts, you love it, whether you're going to stop and eat at one or not. It's awesome to be able just to walk by and smell the smell when you're going down the street. I think there are ways that we can regulate the concept of the competition. You have a restaurant that's invested in the bricks and mortar. People are already doing this. One creative solution would be you get a permission letter signed by a restaurant they put a food cart next to. Okay, that's an easy one. A lot of that's going to be regulated by the width of the sidewalks. Let's ease up on how much sidewalk we think we need in this community. I mean, very rarely are they packed to the gills. I mean, we can slide some food carts up and down downtown. Vacant lots can be used to congregate food carts in. Vacant city property can be used to congregate food carts in. One of my favorite food carts that was pretty unregulated was JB's. Anybody been to JB's? Everybody has. Everybody. And it wasn't regulated, and I don't think he may have ever made anybody sick. Probably when you drank a 40 watt, made them sick after going to JB's. But I mean, this is a vibrant part of our culture. The hot dog man. I was a vendor myself in college. Did my man have when they regulated this? Before the regulations, our streets were just a plethora of people selling items. It was a commerce. It was like a market downtown in college. It was incredible to see. You got so much out of just walking down the street. And this is something that we need to bring back to our community. Lower the regulations. I understand there's some concerns with it. We are a creative community. There's a bunch of smart people just in this room that can figure out the problems and figure out the solutions and how we can bring this back. Thank you.
Don't forget to fill out your audience cards. Filling them out right. Last chance. And for the questions that we don't ask that are coming from the audience, they will be sent to the candidates so that they all hear your concerns. Last question. Our daily bread is a major source of prepared food for those in need in Athens, yet receives no financial support from the city. What would you do to guarantee that people who experience poverty have access to sustenance?
Well, our daily bread is one of our success stories in Athens. And again, that's private individuals, churches, and this is where change comes. It comes from people caring about their neighbors. You know, government can guide, government can encourage, government can facilitate, but people do the work. And my church takes their turn in serving at our daily bread. I've not had that pleasure yet because up until a week ago Wednesday, I was working full time, making sure our school system, our county government had money to pay our teachers, our firemen, our police officers. But that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, is taking my turn at our daily bread serving. And I want to tell y'all, I just realized I probably sound like I was picking on Glenn here. I think he's one of the finest young men I've ever known. And I'm just so happy that he's up here with us. Thank you all for coming. I don't need 2 minutes to answer that question. I'm going to pass it on.
Thank you, Nancy. I like Glenn too. Our daily bread has been kind of a stop on my trail for a long time. I know a lot of those people by name. I was accused one time of my friends being the ones that hung around downtown and ruined it. But our daily bread is an excellent example of people caring for people. It's supported by a large group of churches. Anybody can go down there and work, though. You just go down and you tell them. And if you go down there, sit down and eat with the people. You will learn. You will grow. You will get a perspective on Athens that you don't get. Not just about food insecurity, but about a part of Athens that we don't see. So I think of our daily bread as a really important place for learning. And I completely support it. But I'm like Nancy. I think that I would like to see our staff on Athens Park County take one of the weeks, and be the cooks and join in that in the same kind of way. It would not want to hurt that or change that spirit that's down there, because it really is important. The other thing you should know is Athens Regional Medical Center does so much health programs down there every Tuesday. And so you're talking about there are other ways that we can serve those people and support our daily bread besides taking it over or funding it.
Athens Urban Ministry, as you know, it's daily bread, provides such a valuable service. I've spent many days volunteering down there. When I go down there, oftentimes I don't see those people. I see people that I went to school with, people that I used to work with. And I don't mean serving, I mean coming to get food. And we hear their stories, and it's more than just daily bread for food. It's daily bread for spirit. And we need to continue that. It's the auspices of the Atlanta Urban Ministry, and they're supported by the churches and your donations. And what as Athens Clark County we need to do is to continue to foster that. Now, too often when you start getting government money and federal money, they start trying to tell you what you can do and what you can't do and all that. So you have to be careful on that wise. But we need to encourage participation by the employees, not mandated, but encouragement, because I think everybody in this room, once you become aware of what it does, you'll open your pocketbook, you'll open your time, whatever you have to help that. And that's what we've got to do. And I think as the mayor and bishop, we'll shine the light on the situation, because oftentimes people of goodwill don't know what they can do. And by offering these opportunities, we then can enhance the program there, enhance the people that want to go there. So So I think, you know, we don't need to mess with something that's working. We just need to do what we can to enhance it. And that's opening it up to other people, continuing to support it, spiritual